Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Malefactor, and that is pronounced Malefactor, not Malefactor. If you don't know what the word is, go look it up. Malefactor, Malefactor, not Male Factor. It's not a testosterone show. This is a crime show. This is my crime recap. We need little news updates. Nothing, not enough to do an individual episode, or let's just catch up on what's been going on and stuff I've covered. So, on with that for this crime recap. Karen Reed trial. Well, that's pretty simple. Pretty much everybody is suing everybody. Karen Reed and all her people are suing all the the Proctors, the Alberts, you name it, the city, and everyone's suing her back. So that's nothing but a sue-a-thon. The only thing that's come out of it so far, I mean, beyond that, is more, yes, more text from Proctor and Tully and other police officers. So we know Proctor got fired. Tully retired. And I think there's another officer who used to have like a sergeant or lieutenant's rank who is now doing rookie duty as a traffic detail person, as in a meter reader. That's going from a sergeant or lieutenant down to a rook. Oh, that's man. He has to be getting ribbed like you wouldn't believe in the police station. Well, or maybe not. Maybe everyone's looking at him going, "Oh, that could happen to me too." Um, yeah, that's pretty much all that's really happening there. We have moving on. Next up is Brian Kohlberger, the wonderful person who admitted to being guilty to the murder of the 4 Idaho students. He was the PhD candidate for criminal studies, the fellow who thought he knew it all and apparently thought he would get away with performing a perfect murder of 4 people, which I don't think he planned on killing 4 people. He only probably planned on killing 1 or 2. And just goes to show that didn't pan out right either. He made mistakes. He got his ass in jail, in prison. Well, after forever pre-trial stuff, Kohlberger pleaded guilty on all charges. Okay, fine. Now it's been about a year, plus or minus, and he now wants a trial. Even though he waived his rights to a retrial, waived his right to contend against his filing of being guilty, he is now claiming that he was not properly informed by his lawyers, his defense team, which is an ultimate insult to his insult team. He had some of the best lawyers. The one lady in charge of it, blanked on her name too. She is damn good at what she does. And for him to stand there and saying, my attorneys didn't, say prison was going to be this bad. I guess he thought it would be like, living in, a Motel 8 as opposed to, something else. But, he wants out, or doesn't want out. He wants a trial. More likely he wants better accommodations, better TV and people not picking on him and his own private chef. But anyhow, he's finding prison a little difficult. Surprise. For a PhD candidate in criminology, you would think he would know something about the penal system and what jails and prisons are actually like. It's not. Anyways, he's crying and he wants a trial. He ain't gonna get it. Ain't a chance in hell he's gonna get it. But if he can waste more tax dollar money trying to get an attorney to try to get it to go through, he's gonna do it. But ain't gonna happen. Well, that he also probably was a little more concerned about the fact that being guilty, but they took the death penalty off, so he got life in prison. But if he wants to, if you want to go to trial, if I was the judge, I'd say, okay, we'll put the death sentence back in. So if you if you want to get shot by a firing squad, here you're getting life. If you choose the other, we'll put bullets in you. Anyhow, that's what's going on there. The Anna Kepler story. That was the lady who was raped and murdered by her brother-in-law in the cabin that they were sharing on the cruise ship. From the inbred family or the other parts of the family. She sounds like she was the only normal person in that cholesterol group of, one person, Brady Bunch mixture of who has what kids and who, whatever. And she seemed like the only sane one, and everyone else had a little too much inbreeding. But anyhow, the child now, like 17, so he's getting child treatment, but he's been allowed to roam around and stay with aunts and uncles or grandmas or whatever. And um, he's supposed to be available at any time, and apparently he keeps disappearing. So the prosecution kind of put a few words into the judge's ear about more evidence they have and whatnot, and the behavior. And he's now in the clink, and he's going to stay in the clink until trial time, which is good. A lot. I mean, someone who, I mean, he was the only one. There's only two people entered. One person came out alive on a cruise ship. I mean, unless the SEAL team or Delta Force came down on the cruise ship, worked their way all the way down, and took out the girl, which didn't happen. He did it. I mean, but anyhow, at least he's in jail or prison. I'm not sure if he's holding him in a jail or holding him in a prison, but either or, better get used to it. That's where he's going to be. There's no trial or anything yet, no pre-trial yet. So we'll when we have a court date, we'll have another episode of the Malefactor. Malefactor. Anyhow, Nancy Guthrie. The case of the sheriff who totally cluster effed it up. Okay, FUBAR, if you know what that stands for, situation normal, all up. Okay, the sheriff is an nincompoop. The one who didn't want to share with the FBI, and then the guy should, he should not be reelected. Actually, he should be removed from his sheriff's seat for total and complete incompetence. And he's only now showing even more incompetence. Just, get him out of the picture. I mean, unfortunately, he goes to the FBI when he's, really, floundering, and then he kicks the FBI out, and it's like, hey, I'm on charge, and then he flounders again, and then brings the FBI back in, and I think the FBI is finally saying, look, dude, let us have it 100% or get the hell, and get the hell out, or we're out. But unfortunately, they have released one of the kidnappers' notes. Oh, what do you call it? I'm like, ransom note. Geez, Scott, come on. I haven't had any alcohol today. That's a problem. Just kidding. Anyhow, they released one of the ransom notes that is in parallel to one of the other ones they received that they believe were credible. So this is credible A, this is credible B. And in that one, the letter said, well, she died about 6 days after we kidnapped her. Sorry, we did not never hear from us again. Sorry again. Sincerely, the bad guys. Again, we have we still have the video footage of the guy walking up on the porch from the Ring camera and trying to shove plants into the lens of the camera to try to block it, as he then takes it away and looks right into the lens and goes, "Oh, okay." I mean, he's, the guy who has he's got a semi-auto and a holster designed for a revolver, and he's got it pointed right in his man area. You know, glow in the dark stripes on his backpack. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyhow, the gang that can't shoot straight, the kidnappers who wanted, to get $1 million and get away, and now all they do is have now they'll be, when they're found, they're going to be held liable for murder. So now they get no money, and now whoever they are, single guy or two guys, don't know. They better stay low for the rest of their lives, because they're the notice or warrant of searching for someone for death does not have an expiration. It last until, you can't not wave that one. Either nature's gonna get you or the FBI is gonna get your ass. And so way to go, you bumbling idiots in Arizona. Turtle Boy. That's the next subject. This is one I really don't want to touch on, but we'll go there. Turtle Boy is an offshoot from the Karen Reed trial. If it wasn't for Turtle Boy discovering this case going on and breaking the news to it, because he's a local town at the time, independent journalist, the guy, we need those people. We need those people. The guy who gets a hunch and runs with it, and he did a great job. We discovered Karen Reed and the injustice that she had. If it wasn't for him, she'd probably be sitting in jail, guilty. If sitting in jail, she'd be sitting in prison, with a guilty sentence of murdering her boyfriend, which she did not, and she did not hit him with an SUV. Nobody hit her with an SUV. But anyways, and nor does an SUV leave scratches and claw marks on your arm while not breaking a single bone in your body. So at 20 miles an hour in reverse in snow and avoiding a fire hydrant and a power bank and popping the curb and hitting him as if he was just standing there going, hit me, while holding a glass, which they can't identify the glass that was found there and matching up to either one of the bars they attended. So where'd that glass come from? Well, it's a tumbler. They checked the glassware in the house of the Alberts? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. They probably got all new glassware the same time they got rid of the dog. And then, same time they tore the carpet up and redid the basement. All this completely normal activity for a bunch of innocent people. But anyhow, back to Turtle Boy. He was in with, like with the Karen Reed supporters and Turtle Boys, where everyone was, cheering and great, more power to both of them, because he's being pursued by the Canton police and a lot of people because they don't like him because, he busted the case open. They're coming after him with anything, abusing witnesses, harassing witnesses, falsifying data, even though everything he's got is more accurate than anything the police have to show against him. And unfortunately, and they're still going after him right now. They are still trying to get him thrown in jail for something or another, or this or that. Problem is some of Turtle Boy's history, some of his personal behavior, has come forth, and some things he's got involved with. We'll just leave it about there, which has not been good, which has now become public. So that took everyone who was, pro Turtle Boy, because he was on the Karen Reed side. So he's, the good guys, and the cops and everyone in Canton law forms were the bad guys. Well, now we've got three factions now. The, Canton police suck. They do. Turtle Boy sucks, and Karen Reed sucks. Or Karen Reed's great. Turtle Boy sucks. It's a war. The alliance of people with Turtle Boy and Karen Reed have split because of some of Turtle Boy's personal nature. You can hate the artist, but don't hate the art, kind of a thing. But people are hating the artist, not his art. So that's a whole mudslinging event I'm not going into. We're just going to leave it there. It's, again, things happen and everyone's all together, and then something happens and everyone's, on YouTube fighting against each other, and it's this war against this group against that group and social media BS. So that's ending it right there. That's as far as I'm going with that. He's still being pursued by Canton and everyone to try to get his ass thrown in jail. They really don't like him. Bam! The bricks and mortar people. That big boom, big explosion, big PR mess. It has gone from a little story picked up by, a YouTuber, which kind of exploded, which then exploded, which has exploded. Now it is worldwide known about these guys and the BAM Corporation, the bricks and mortar, bricks and mini people store, who then franchises out all their individual stores, corporate, and then all the stores around the United States are franchised, which is just their way of saying basically they're still our store, rather than. But by having them an independent contractor, they can avoid a lot of legality, even though they run them and treat them just like they were a corporate-owned entity. The only benefit of them being uh, a 1099 group subcontractor of the corporation, as they can then turn around and say our corporate stuff doesn't, we're covered and those guys aren't, and we're against a lot of those guys now. Again, it's unfortunate for all the people who own a Rick and Minnie people's store. I mean, again, it's their money they put into it. It's a franchise, and they're getting hit, even though it's corporate that's done the stupidest things in the world and have just proven to step on their dick more than they can do anything else. And I I don't know if Brick and Mini people are ever going to survive this and still have a company. It's just exploded beyond belief. The little manual, or not little manual, it's actually a pretty thick manual. The uh, manual for those who want to who bought into a Brick and Mini people. Basically it's the BAM Bible. That's being read out aloud, and there's all kinds of questionable stuff in there, like, not disclosing certain things to customers unless they ask, then by all means disclose. But if they haven't disclosed, there's still tremendous questions on the inventory and the facts around what happened when they kicked out those owners of the one store. They had the Star Wars collection, and what happened to the Star Wars collection, worth $100,000. I know they originally they said $200,000 and all this, and it's come out in all the videos that was an overinflated number they came up with just to pop interest. Its real value is probably around like 75,000 to 100 and a quarter thousand, but it's still worth a lot of money. But it's not a $200,000. But still, it's theft, and it's a bunch of a-holes at corporate who, I mean, they have lied their ass off time and time again to lawyers, to cops, to interviewers. So I don't, the only ones who've been consistent in the story are the store owners that they kicked out, that took over their store from because of, whatever reasons, and the ones they stole the Star Wars collection from. Those guys have been more honest and straightforward. Reckless Ben has been more honest and straightforward. Brixton Minifig Corporate, sly little foxes. I mean, they're just, well, not even sly. They're just, anyhow, their personalities are not good, and I don't think the store is going to survive. Lots of their history and possible, the two kids sued the father over this and that, and oh my God. If it survives, surprise, surprise. If someone doesn't end up going to jail from bricks and mortar, bricks and mini people, minifigs. Yeah, I have a hard time with that one. Bricks and minifigs. Anyhow, I don't know if any of them are going to go to jail. Somebody should, but I got a funny feeling that just the PR fiasco. I mean, these guys should have just said, "Oh, we didn't know about it. Let's see what we can do to get it right." Eat the $100,000 that you tried to steal, and you'd come away as a hero. Oh, there was confusion. We want to support our independent contractors, our stores, and we accidentally brought these products in. We thought it was ours. It turns out it was his. We gave it to him. Everything's good. They're good. The puppy was saved, and bricks and mini people look good. Minifigs. But no, they decided to, kick the dog and deny everything. And I mean, everyone's talking about it. So I'm going to end it here too, because turn on YouTube and whatever, and everyone's done a special or two on bricks and mini figures. I have done 2 of them, and there's an insert here in the Malefactor show. Also, so we'll put an end to that one. It's just a total CF. That's all there is to it. And finally, our absolute favorite nincompoop when it comes to crime, Deforvided. Oh boy. Granted, in the pre-trial, we got 5 days of stuff. And a defense that really could, they were throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something would stick, and nothing was. They've got nothing. In fact, they didn't have any spaghetti to throw on the wall to see what sticks. knowing that the prosecution has even more than what they have released in the 5 days of the pretrial is damning beyond belief. Because what came out in the mini trial is damning beyond belief. And as people have dug into it, and with all the the Reddits and all the social media, looking into things and finding things and reporting things, and luckily there's some law enforcement kind of going, oh, thanks for the tip, we'll appreciate it, or they can't deny or approve that they had that lead already. Anyways, um, there is so much self-incrimination in what the forfeited has done and his behavior, and he trying to be smart and take care of things, and then just coming up doing it half-ass. I mean, it's like a singing, because he can't sing. It's auto tune. If he didn't have auto tune, he wouldn't be singing. You know, um, all of his stories he made up or took from other people. Like I said, like I said, I haven't said it yet. He got all of his information on social life and relationships from people talking to him on Reddit and stuff, because he never had any, because he spent his life in his sister's closet playing around doing his divinity things, which he has then returned to doing recently. But well, not recently. He's his ass is in prison right now, which is good, and it's gonna stay there. And he doesn't have a chance in hell of getting out, even though he still sits in. When I was hearing from a couple of people who were there in the courthouse, that occasionally he kind of looked like he was going to be all right with things, and when maybe defense is going to do some things for him, and he's going to walk or get out on after a short period of time and still have a life. No. He's going to be spending the rest of his life in jail. And, I mean, granted, the defense has to do their job, and he's entitled to a defense. That's part of our Constitution. And Samuel Adams, or which one of the Adams is the one who defended the British soldiers? The Sam Adams, or Sam Adams is a beer, but I mean, I think it was his father, other brother. Anyways, blanking on that too. The joys of doing things live. Anyways, they're entitled. He's entitled to a defense. Don't attack the people who are defending, even though they're kind of funny to watch them squirm. They're doing their job, and it's a job we all need, we all have as part of our legal system. He's guilty as hell. He murdered her, and allegedly for YouTube. Well, people say he allegedly drove a car, and yet you have pictures of him driving a car. That's not alleged. That's fact. All these reporters saying, "Oh, he allegedly is black." No, he's not allegedly black. He is black. Well, he's allegedly a singer. Okay, well, that's questionable. Allegedly he's a good player on Fortnite. No, he's not allegedly a good player. He is a good player. I mean, you don't say allegedly to everything just to make YouTube happy. There are facts that are facts. The sun is allegedly in the sky. No, it is in the sky. All right. So when it comes to the forfeited, he's allegedly the murderer and dismemberer of her. Allegedly. And the defense kind of saying, well, it might have been a drug overdose and suicide. You can't stab yourself twice in the ribs and then cut your arms off and your legs off and chop your fingers off as a suicide attempt with a chainsaw. Yeah, it was a suicide. Or they're claiming it was a suicide and he didn't know what to do, so he hacked her body up and put it in bags and hid it in his car. Yeah, that's good. Way to go, defense. That's gonna, get him out of jail. That way, that's gonna get him for, sex abuse to a child. Sexual abuse to a child, and mutilation of a corpse. Ain't doing good for me if they don't get him on the murder. But yeah, he's gone. I don't really expect this to go to court. I have a funny feeling that when it goes down the road, I don't know. Again, we don't have a time for an actual court on it. But I've got a strong feeling that when the time comes, he's just gonna turn around and go, "I did it." He'll probably try to sing about how he got framed and whatnot, and write lyrics about it. And apparently, while he's been in jail in prison, there's a difference. But I forget where different places do different things. Put people in jail for a while waiting for court. Some people put them in prison for a while they're waiting for their court date. It may depend on anyhow. He's in custody, and he's not going to do very well in there. He's going to learn they don't really like people like him, especially someone who can't really sing but got millions. Raping a girl, a child, for the years he has, grooming, all of his perverted stuff, which we're not even going to get into his level of perversion. He's a communist pervert. No, he's not a communist. I don't know. I have no idea what his politics are, but he's an idiot. No imagination, no originality, has to copy everything from somebody else. His MAGA character was stolen straight from the Psycho one. I'm blanking on that one too. But anyhow, I mean, the cutting up of the wife and putting her, where he cut and how he cut up the wife is exactly the same as from the Psycho detective thing. And then, also using chainsaws. Well, that matches up with one of the other animes. Well, an anime that he watched, which was called Chainsaw Man. I have not watched that one. Title enough tells me I don't want to see it. I did look through the magazine for the Psycho detective, and I mean, granted, it's Japanese art, which is fantastic in its own way, but the storyline's pretty stupid. And in the storyline, there is an issue of the missing an eye out of the wife, and it's her left eye, and there's a left eye missing from Celeste. So another, I mean, frame, not frame. I mean, well, he's framing himself. Yes. Then again, they're not going to find some of the fingers because we know what he did with them. I'm pretty sure. Anyhow, that's our first episode of the Malefactor. The criminal, the evil, the malefactor. That's the theme. Not male factor, and we're talking about testosterone and mansplaining and no male steroid, no crime. And some of that crap is a crime. But anyhow, not, what I mean. Mansplaining is horrible, but we're not going into the over testosterone negative environment. No, we're not going there. That's it. No. So, anyways, episode 1 done. Give me feedback. See what you think. See what you like. I'm going to try to get rid of saying It's something it's tough to edit it out every time I say while I'm recording these things. I just have to write a note to say don't say or something, because I do it in all my videos apparently. And I'm not aware that I'm really doing it until I do the playback and doing editing, and then I'm like saying, oh my god, he said it again. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm working on it. I'll try to it out of my head. But anyways, guys, be careful out there. It's a dangerous world. We're in strange times. Watch your six. Watch your six. Be safe. That's from Duty Ron, a show on YouTube. He's a former police officer from New York, part of the Twin Tower rescue people, in which he has now some ill effects happening because of him being there for being an active policeman who was there at the pile. So In case people have forgotten, that's when terrorists of a certain religion and certain politic view took over, you know, four. They took over 4 airliners, crashed 2 of them into the towers in New York, crashed another one into the Pentagon, and the 4th one, the crew or the passengers actually stood up and got into a fight with the evildoers, which unfortunately then caused the plane to crash in a field and everyone died. But it didn't go on target, which was probably the White House. But in case people have forgotten what 9/11 was all about, and apparently New York has completely forgotten about 9/11. The way they're voting and the way they're behaving, they clearly none of them have all been born after September 11th, 2001. And there's a potential there that I could have been, sent to Iraq in World War One if certain things fell the way certain things would have fallen, and that happening, I probably would have had a free tour of a very deserty place. But things go the way things go. Yeah, sorry, 9/11, off on a tangent. Wake up, New York. Anyhow, there's you go. And again. Duh. I'm out of here. Sabos, take care of yourselves. Watch your backs.